read this word for word. I'll come back to this. 4th verse. And it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of the Most High in their foreheads. Let me read that again and break it down. And it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth. What do locusts do? What is the purpose of a locust? The purpose of a locust is to eat grass and green things, man. Eat leaves, eat grass, and anything green. Any type of vegetation. And by the way, we can eat locusts. Because when you eat a locust, what are you getting? You're getting chlorophyll. Because that's what the locusts eat. So that's what that's talking about. So it says, and it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, meaning eat, neither any green thing, leaves, grass, neither any tree. What's on the tree? Leaves, green leaves. But only those men which have not the seal of the Most High in their foreheads. So these were not, when you read this with understanding, we know they're not, this is not talking about actual locusts. This is talking about those dog fighters. Those ancient planes, I would say, from World War I. So the only ones that these planes got, which the scriptures say they're locusts, was anyone that didn't have the seal of the Most High. Because you had Jake living in Europe. You had Jake living in Europe that were fighting in that war that looked like Edomites, but they were Jake. You had Gad in that war. Because we've been mingled among the people. So you have a lot of the tribes that look like Edomites, that look like Moabites, that look like, or you have Gad that had mingled himself with the nations. So there were some strange things going on during that First World War. There were guys where you had planes or people trying to kill this guy, and for some reason he wouldn't die. Either the bullet would bounce off his helmet or he would get away. That's all the spirit. The Most High had to preserve those men because we, the men of the Lord, were going to come through those men. Those men would be our great-grandfathers and our great-great-grandfathers. Now, in the 5th verse, it says, and to them it was given that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months. 5 months is really talking about 5 years. Because remember, the Bible is written in code. It says, and their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when he striketh a man. That's that gun behind the you have the cockpit, where you have the primitive cockpit, I would say, where you have the guy shooting the gun, the Tommy gun they called it. Another name that they gave it was Satan's paintbrush. Okay, I'm going to read that. I'm going to read the 6th verse now. It says, in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. We did a video, and we were going into World War I, and there was a lot of those guys that got their faces blown off, legs and their arms blown off, had nervous conditions, and the Most High made them The Most High made them live that way. And they wanted to die. A lot of them was in traction. They couldn't move their arms. They couldn't do anything to kill themselves. And they had to sit there and take that and die a slow death. The Most High put the Spirit on them to torment these devils, man. It says, the 7th verse, and the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses, prepared unto battle. So now you get a picture. So when John the Revelator saw these dog fighters, he didn't know what a dog fighter was. This plane, this fighter plane from World War I. So to him it looked like a locust. It says, the shape of the locusts were like unto horses prepared unto battle. Because these fighter planes were made out of metal. And on their heads were, as it were, crowns like gold. When you check out the old films of the German army in World War I, they had those shiny helmets. Some of them were silver, and the higher ranks, they were gold. And their faces was as the faces of men, because it was men that operated those planes. And they had hair as the hair of women. Those same gold and silver helmets, you had on the top of it, you had this black, which looked like a woman's hair. All you got to do is go to Google and look it up. You can punch in, go to Google, go put a World War I German soldiers, and you'll see countless pictures of what I'm talking about. It says, and they had hair as the hair of women, and their teeth were as the teeth of lions. What is that talking about? The guy shooting the machine gun from the plane. Ninth verse. And they had breastplates, because the plane was made out of metal, as it was breastplates of iron. And the sound of their wings was as the sound of chariots of many horses running to battle. Because those planes made a lot of noise. Nowadays in cars and planes in the modern world, you have muffler systems. So a plane can fly by, a 747, and you hardly even hear it. Even if you're at the airport, you kind of hear a faint sound of the plane. But back then, those planes made a lot of noise, and the metal was rattling. It says in the 10th verse, and they had tails like unto scorpions, and I mentioned that earlier, and there were stings in their tails. Those are the guns, and their power was to hurt men 5 months. That's World War I. And they had a king over them. That king is referring to, what's this guy? See, I haven't gone over this in so long. Kaiser Wilhelm. And he was, I can go to it, but I'm not going to go to it. But it's talking about Kaiser Wilhelm. And the word Kaiser is a German way of saying Caesar. So he was actually a king. He wasn't a president or the prime minister. He was a king. He was a monarch. And they had a king over them, Kaiser Wilhelm, which is the angel of the bottomless pit. The word angel meaning messenger of the bottomless pit. The bottomless pit is Europe. Where was he located? In Europe, in Germany. He was a king of Germany. whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, which means destroyer, but in the Greek tongue have his name Apollyon, which is the Greek way of saying destroyer. Let me just click on this right quick. Now, when you click on Abaddon, it tells you in the Greek way of saying it is Abaddon. But then it takes you back to the Hebrew root word etymology of Hebrew origin, which is H11, which the H stands for Hebrew, which is Abad one, which means destroyer. That's why you got to learn, you got to understand it, have an understanding of the Greek and the Hebrew. Because he did a lot of damage. Them Germans did a lot of damage, man. That's why economically, the Germans, among these EU nations, the Germans are always on top. Because they're known for their quality of the different products that they produce. And that goes back to the 10 toes, which, by the way, somebody said that the 10 toes in Daniel the 7th chapter is talking about America. It's not talking about America. It's talking about NATO, the EU, and the U.S. is part of NATO. When that stone that comes out of heaven, which is Yahweh Shai, he's gonna break the 10 toes up and the 2 feet. Okay, it's referring to Esau's power structure, which is NATO and the EU. It says in the 12th verse, one woe is past, and behold, there come 2 woes more hereafter. So that was World War I that we just read about. Now you have World War II and World War III. And I could jump to Revelation 11th chapter, which I'm not going to do right now. If the Spirit told me, I might go back to that, or might go to it. It says, and the 6th angel sounded, and I heard a voice from heaven. And I heard a voice from the 4 horns of the golden altar, which is before the Most High, saying to the 6th angel which had the trumpet, loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. Now,